But the cheapest mode of transport is the railway. What? The sea, water first, that's the cheaper. The railway next, then the roads.
Hello, my name is Kwame Gonza, and I want to take out some time to comment on Dangote's recent remarks. I'm talking about Dangote, the richest black man in the world. Recently, President of Dangote Industries, Mr. Aliko Dangote, said that within 5 years, Africa could become a heaven. And it is true. I want to show you how. I want to take an opportunity to show you why this is possible. If you look at 2006, China had a share of global manufacturing which was around 6 to 8%. 6 to 8%. All right? Today, as we speak, China has a share of global manufacturing output of around 30%. So this tells you that these things are possible. Now, where does Dangote speak from? Dangote is speaking from the point that he is an industrialist who has already accomplished a lot. One of the things he has done is weaning Nigeria of importation of cement. He laid the groundwork for Nigeria to stop importing cement. Recently, he accomplished a major task by building the biggest refinery in the whole world, the 20 billion Dangote oil refinery, which is located in Lekki Free Zone. Now, this shows you the possibility and possibilities that there is or there are within these countries. If you look at Africa, as the African Continental Unity Party, what we have proposed is this: an overhaul of 3 sectors, or a focus on 3 sectors, continentally, not as individuals. Because one of the things that Mr. Dangote has identified across the African continent is inconsistent government policy. And basically what this means is that there is chaos on the African continent. Different heads of state are doing different things. They are running in different directions. This brings about duplication of activities, duplication of policies, and wastage of resources. Instead, we need to focus our resources on certain sectors as Africans and build continental-wide infrastructure, for example. Why? Because the focus on small nations is not enough in itself. The markets of those small nations are not enough. The markets of the regional nations or regional bodies are not enough. The market which is enough is the continental Africa-wide market. But that market, that continental-wide African market, cannot be productive if certain things are not put in place. If the infrastructure is not put in place, the best infrastructure. If there is no industrialization, what are you going to trade in if you say you have a project like the Africa Continental Free Trade Area? Now, this is not to criticize the African Continental Free Trade Area, but it is to say that before you say I'm going to trade something, I have to produce. And I applaud the work that is being done by the Secretary General of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, Mr. Wamkele Meni. Great work, passionate gentleman. I like the gentleman and I applaud the great work that he's doing. But how can we trade? What are we going to trade in if we are not producing? How are we going to trade if there is no roads, there's no railway platform where to move our goods?
But the cheapest mode of transport is the railway. What? The sea, water first, that's the cheaper. The railway next, then the roads, and then the air. So therefore, the European Union should focus not only in Uganda, but even in other countries, together with the human rights, with the rights of children, with the rights of homosexuals, all those wonderful rights. But please, the first right should be the growth of these economies.
And this is what we are talking about, that we need to focus our energy on certain projects that are gonna produce exponential growth. Projects that are gonna have a multiplier effect on the whole African economy. And these are the three sectors that we have identified: the African Continental Unity Party and also Century Rail, the company which we have registered to build a continental railway platform. Number one, we are proposing the building of a single railway platform across the African continent, an integrated continental railway platform of around 21,000 to 22,000 kilometers. And that railway platform is called the African Railway Triangle Network Master Plan, which will cover about 36 African countries, hence integrating the whole African continent. But at the same time, this railway project is going to connect Africa to the major trade routes of the world, whereby if we manufacture one thing, one component, one good from a certain area of the African continent, it can easily be shipped to any area of the world where we want it. And this means we could strategically place certain factories and production facilities on the African continent depending on the need of certain parts of the world. Number two, we have proposed laying a fiber optic cable along the same railway line, and this will cost us about $4 billion. The railway project alone will cost us around $150 billion. $150 billion, but this comes with the laying of the foundation of a steel manufacturing facility for the African continent. Africa is importing up to 70% of its steel. So we need to lay a foundation for steel manufacturing. We need to lay a foundation for a train manufacturing industry. All that is within the $150 billion, and we need to expand our cement production. As we enter the era of reconstruction of the African continent, as we build the foundation, we need to produce more cement. We need to pour more concrete. We need to produce more cement. We need the fiber optic cable that we have spoken about. Number three, we need to build 5 to 6 more mega power projects, each of 40,000 megawatts or 40 gigawatts. Currently, Africa is producing about 250 gigawatts or 250,000 megawatts of power, which is our installed capacity. Now compare that to China. China is currently producing 1,800 gigawatts. Compare that to Africa's own 250. Now, the United States is producing 1,200 gigawatts with 300 million people, 350 million people. China, with the same population as us, is producing almost 4 times our power capacity, and India is around 350 gigawatts. So we need to double Africa's power production to 500 gigawatts. That then will lay the basis, the base foundation, the superstructure upon which industrialization is going to be. Because even right now, we cannot industrialize. Why? Because there's not a single African country that is not facing power problems on the African continent. So we are proposing the building of 5 to 6 mega power projects, each project producing 40,000 megawatts or 40 gigawatts. And this includes, first of all, the Grand Inga Dam in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which will cost around $80 billion and it produces around 40,000 megawatts. And then we will build additional 4 to 5 mega power plants from nuclear power and other sources, including developing all potential hydropower projects across the African continent. Now this will be in the west, in the east, and in the south, and in the north of the African continent. What this means is that you can then leapfrog, you can develop the continent rapidly, just like what President Aliko Dangote is saying that we can do this in 5 years. All these 3 sectors that we have said we will focus on, including food, which we will say will be the 4th one, this can be done in a period of 15 to 25 years. It can be done. So with the intense focus, we can do it in less time, as President Aliko Dangote is saying that it can be done within 5 years. We can make Africa a heaven in 5 years. What this means is that we just need to lay the foundation of the major project, the superstructure. We need to lay the foundation of the superstructure, whereby this will bring about a multiplier effect. Other things will spring from that seed that we have planted, and that seed that we want to plant is the railway project, is the power project that we have spoken about, and laying of the fiber optic cable around the railway line that we are going to construct. And that is what President Aliko Dangote meant, and that is what the African Continental Unity Party is working on currently. Thank you so much.